What's good, y'all? I'm about to react to the best Avengers Doomsday plot leak rumor I've heard. Yeah, okay. So what? Okay, it's a new plot leak right now. All right. Okay, fill us in.
This is the best rumor slash leak for the plot of Avengers Doomsday that I have heard yet. Personally, out of
Okay.
everything we've heard, I would prefer for this to happen over everything else we've heard. This makes a lot of sense. It combines stories from the past in the MCU with stories from the comics and a lot of elements from the comics.
I ain't gonna lie, it would make sense. Like I think he said earlier that they're gonna start back at the ending scene of Avengers Endgame. That Captain America was dancing with Peggy Carter, dancing with his love, dancing with his sweetheart. That would make sense. They started back right there. At least we remember that ending scene.
And it puts it together in a really great way that I actually hope Avengers Doomsday plays out this way now. A few of you DM'd me this morning. Thank you for that because it was so interesting to you. I could not trace the original source, so we are going to... A few of you DM'd me this morning.
Dang, Cosmic Warner, you can speak Spanish, dude? I don't know what that sentence says in Spanish. Oh, it's the okay. I see all the English down there.
Thank you for that because it was so interesting to you. I could not trace the original source, so we are going to treat this as a rumor, in no way confirmed. But after you listen to what this supposed plot leak entails, I would love to know your thoughts about this because I do truly think this is how it could go down in Avengers Doomsday. In fact, I hope it's how it goes down in Avengers Doomsday. So let's get into this. So there are 5 parts to this, broken off into different parts, and I really like it. Let's start with the first, of course. The War for New York. In Avengers Doomsday, 2 final battles unfold. The first takes place in New York City, where all the heroes of Earth 616 face off against those of Earth 838. For those who don't know, Earth 838 is a universe from Multiverse of Madness that had the Illuminati. And there was that one chair left that we...
Oh, okay. Oh, so we about to get an Iron Man, Hulk, Captain America, Hawkeye, Black Widow team up versus the Black Captain Marvel, Charles Xavier, Baron Mordo, Black Bolt. Dang, Black Bolt, Peggy Carter as Captain America. I think she was like Captain Britain. She really wasn't American. She really had that America shield on. So she about to be a Captain Woman Britain, Miss Britain. Who else? I think that was it. Oh, and Mr. Fantastic. That he really should have been the Reed Richards in the new one. I think so. Not Pedro Pascal, but Pedro Pascal, he wasn't a bad Reed Richards and Mr. Fantastic.
Don't know who it belongs to, but we've always speculated, and even some insiders started to talk about how...
But even though Scarlet Witch, she done got them all up out of here. Like, golly, dude. That was so disrespectful, dude. I just didn't like that whole scene. That really was the downfall of that whole Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness movie. Just that scene right there, I would never watch that movie again. Just like, man, that's just so disrespectful.
That one person is going to be pretty pissed off that the Illuminati were killed. We assume, since we had Ultron bots, it's a Tony Stark, perhaps. So maybe this is all starting to link together already, that universe coming after our Earth, 616, and it also could involve an incursion between the two of them as well, which makes sense considering the damage that Doctor Strange and Wanda did in that universe. But it continues, among the heroes of Earth 616 are all the Avengers, Spider-Man, the Young Avengers, the Wakandans, the Guardians of the Galaxy, and the mutants, which is interesting because I think they're referring to the mutants of the heroes of Earth 6 them as well, which makes sense considering the damage that Doctor Strange and Wanda did in that universe. But it continues, among the heroes of Earth 616 are all the Avengers, Spider-Man, the Young Avengers, the Wakandans, the Guardians of the Galaxy, and the mutants, which is interesting because I think they're referring to the mutants of the X-Men universe, not mutants from our universe. It is a full-scale endgame level fight with all the teams reuniting for the final time. On the enemy side are the heroes and villains of Earth 838, led by Doctor Doom's team, known as the Cabal, commanded by King Thanos, the Maestro, and other powerful members. We
Oh shit! So Thanos gonna be with Doctor Doom team? What? Yo, nah, this will be crazy. Let me hear this all again. Yo, okay, that's crazy.
universe coming after our Earth 616, and it also could involve an incursion between the two of them as well, which makes sense considering the damage that Doctor Strange and Wanda did in that universe. But it continues, among the heroes of Earth 616 are all the Avengers, Spider-Man, the Young Avengers, the Wakandans, the Guardians of the Galaxy, and the mutants, which is interesting because I think they're referring to the mutants of the X-Men universe, not mutants from our universe. It is a full-scale end-game level fight with all the teams reuniting for the final time. On the enemy side are the heroes and villains of Earth 838, led by Doctor Doom's team, known as the Cabal, commanded by King Thanos, the Maestro, and other powerful members. We have actually heard that King Thanos could possibly return in Avengers Doomsday, so
So he was called King Thanos before Thanos. Wow, King Thanos before Thanos. Wow, bro. So wow, he really was a king. I ain't gonna lie, when he had that gauntlet, dude, he was the most powerful dude in the MCU, dude. Without that gauntlet, he really ain't nobody, but he's still strong, fast. He beat the shit out of Hulk, bro. I was like, yo, this dude is different. I ain't gonna lie, I fell in love with Thanos when he beat the shit out of Hulk. I was like, yo, I thought Hulk about to get angry, dude. Like, but I ain't gonna lie, Hulk, he really was moving like slow. I ain't gonna lie. Just Hulk really, they just disrespected the Hulk so much, dude. I want to see a fight between the Hulk and Thanos again. I would love to see that. Dad, so he was a king, King Thanos before Thanos. But that would be pretty cool. I would love to see him back.
again, this lines up with that, and we knew that Doom was going to have a team. I've actually theorized for a while that Doom could have been that empty chair, and he could have created those Ultron bots, which could actually be Doom bots, because only in the subtitles for the movie of Multiverse of Madness did they actually say Ultron bots. They never actually named them, called them by name in the movie. So I think that could possibly be retconned to be Doom bots. But moving on, part 2, Sentry's Madness and Charles Xavier's sacrifice. Every time this dude is on screen lately, we're watching him die. But during the battle, several high-profile deaths occur. Jean Grey faces off against Wanda Maximoff, who is being manipulated by Doctor Doom, just like the Sentry. In an intense sequence, the Sentry goes berserk and begins killing people on Earth 838, unleashing chaos. Charles Xavier decides to sacrifice himself and manages to save Bob from the Void, freeing him from Doom's control.
Oh,
Meanwhile,
God.
Wanda, still under Doom's manipulation, kills Jean Grey. Before dying, Jean, with her last breath, transfers the Phoenix Force to Cyclops. Now, I would just...
Yeah, we're going to have to see Charles Xavier get sacrificed once again. Hey, he got to get up out of here, dude. I ain't going to lie. Hope they give him more respected death, though. Just like him and all the older cast, yeah, they gotta go, man. They can't play that character forever. They gotta go. They got to go, dude. But hey, Sentry gonna be in this lineup. Ooh, I ain't gonna lie, I fell in love with Sentry after watching Thunderbolts. Yeah, he really was my favorite out of everybody. I love to see Sentry back. I ain't gonna lie, dude. I'm really a Sentry fan.
absolutely love for Cyclops to get the Phoenix Force, and that is kind of something that happens in Secret Wars, and Cyclops goes up against Doom and dies. But still, it's really cool to see. I would love for this to happen.
So Cyclops really that powerful to get all of Jean's great force? Because they really didn't show it. They really didn't show it in the older X-Men. They just show how they was in love with each other. But we never seen how powerful Cyclops was. It might have been X-Men The Last Stand. I think we kind of seen how Cyclops can probably go against toe-to-toe with Jean Grey. But nah, Jean Grey, she was wiping people out like the Infinity Snap from Thanos. But man, I want to see how powerful Cyclops can get, really, to get all of Jean's Grey power. What? Okay. Man, I don't think X-Men 97 really didn't show it that much, but I love that show too. It's a pretty good animation though.
We have heard before that Wanda is going to be on Doom's side, and it makes sense that Doom would be manipulating her. And then to have her
I ain't gonna lie, he choking the shit out of her in this photo. Dang, bro. Dang, Dr. Dang, you like that? Dang, he really finna treat her like a slave. Yeah, look how he got her. Look how he hold her. Dang. They must have got married in the comics. Yeah, he touching all over her. Ain't Vision, he really ain't gonna be happy with this shit right here. Dang.
go up against Jean Grey, that is basically something people have wanted to see forever. Wanda versus Jean Grey with the Phoenix Force. Who would win?
Golly, man, she ain't coming back as Jean Grey, dude. I would love her to come back as Jean Grey. Man, dude, this would be pretty cool to see right here. I would love to see a fight between these two. I ain't gonna lie, these probably the most two powerful women in the MCU, in Marvel and X-Men right here. Just these two right here. We seen from like live action, animation, not so much with Scarlet Witch, but I still see Jean Grey and X-Men 97, how powerful she can get. But I ain't lie, Magneto too, how powerful he got. I ain't gonna lie, he shut all the power off on the earth. I'm like, golly, this dude that's powerful in X-Men 97, bro. Can they show this in the movies though? But I think they did show kind of how they show Magneto more powerful. I think it was in like X-Men, it might have been X-Men, Days of Future Past, or probably Apocalypse. I ain't gonna lie, Apocalypse, it was getting under his head with Magneto. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie to you, but hopefully we see these two together fighting.
That's a big question that has been posed in the community for a super, super long time. And the Russo brothers might realize that and say, hey, let's give them a scene. Let's show them who would win. And I think the obvious answer in this case that we're reading is Wanda. She wins because Jean, with her last breath, transfers the Phoenix Force to Cyclops, which leads us to part 3, the retreat and the survivor's bag. Doctor Strange and Clea manage to save Wanda, and together they magically take the Sentry to Doctor Doom. The collision of universes is imminent. The surviving heroes travel by ships to the Raft, a structure built with a combined technology of Reed Richards and Henry Pym. Among the survivors are Reed Richards, Shuri, Star-Lord, Captain Marvel, Vision, Wong, Droop, the Avengers, Cyclops, Storm, Iceman, Sam Wilson, Beast, Spider-Man, Yelena, Bucky, Ghost, and U.S. Agent. There are also other individuals inside the Raft, including main villains who managed to infiltrate thanks to Namor, the Cabal formed by King Thanos, the Maestro, the Maker, Black Swan, Namor, Corvus Glaive, and Proxima Midnight take refuge there. The collision is imminent. The remaining heroes and villains, badly injured, do not survive the impact. The worlds collide violently. The raft sinks into the depths of the ocean and eventually enters the quantum realm. Inside, everyone faints in the darkness. So basically what this is saying is that we are going to have a life raft, which is what some insiders have already reported. Everybody else that's not in the life raft is going to die when the multiverse collapses, basically. All the worlds collide into each other and the multiverse.
Yo, I ain't gonna lie, this would be the messed up thing. How they did with like Age of Ultron. How they was trying to get them people off of like their city, and Thor was about to go destroy the whole world, like destroy it all. That was him and Iron Man. It was Iron Man and Thor that tried to destroy the whole city and try to get those people out. Why did they do a whole planet like that? With like some of our heroes still on that mud. Oh man, that would be messed up right there. And we just seen this new universe just on a planet. Yo, that would be crazy. We see a whole planet get destroyed. God. Just with our favorite heroes that we grew up watching on there. Man, that would be messed up.
Is therefore gone.
But God, this is a whole lot of plot twist right here. Oh my God. Hope they do all this. I know they probably finna rearrange some stuff, but dog, it's a lot.
Especially our Earth and the 838 Earth and any other Earth that
Hopefully we see all like a majority, like everybody on this mud, like Definitely Secret War. We need to see like a bigger cast than they had for Endgame. I love how they did everything with Endgame too. But just hope we see all of them back in the Secret Wars. Since that's a war movie where everybody fighting against each other. It ain't no positivity in it, all negativity.
Are colliding with each other. Some of the villains sneak onto the raft, which in the comics, there's just two different rafts. One raft has the heroes, one raft has villains. Namor is involved with the Cabal and the villains in the Secret Wars comic story, so they're kind of keeping true to that, plus with the life rafts, obviously. And in the comics, the life rafts do kind of get...
Every time you talk about Cabal Cosmo, I'm thinking of MK. Mortal Kombat Cabal, if y'all know what I'm talking about, from the video games, dude. I ain't gonna lie, that dude was quick with speed. Just fast with his like the daggers that Elektra had in her hands, like Cabal from Mortal Kombat, if y'all know what I'm talking about.
Sunken into Battleworld, and they don't pop up for like years later after Battleworld has already been discovered. And as you're about to hear as we go into this more, that kind of happens here. But we then get to part 4, Battle of the Void / the TVA. It states, meanwhile, at another point in time and space, another fight erupts at the TVA. Here, Doctor Doom faces the multiversal Avengers assembled by Loki. The team includes Captain America, Ghost Rider, Spider-Man, which is Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, Blade, Elektra, Gambit, Wolverine, Deadpool, X-23, Captain Carter, Thor, as well as variants of Captain America and Thor, and the superior Iron Man with the Infinity Stones, which seems a little redundant because I think the Infinity Stones don't really work in the TVA. They've established that Major Iron Man, Spider-Man, which is Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, Blade, Elektra, Gambit, multiversal... It states Major Battleworld has already been discovered, and as you're about to hear as we go into this more, that kind of happens here. But we then get to part 4, Battle of the Void / the TVA. It states, meanwhile, at another point in time and space, another fight erupts at the TVA. Here, Doctor Doom faces the multiversal Avengers assembled by Loki. The team includes Captain America, Ghost Rider, Spider-Man, which is Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, Blade, Elektra, Gambit, Wolverine, Deadpool, X-23, Captain Carter, Thor, as well as variants of Captain America and Thor, and the superior Iron Man with the Infinity Stones, which seems a little redundant because
Yo, superior Iron Man, dad. Tom Cruise gonna be that role? Everybody want Tom Cruise to play that one. It would be surprising to see. I ain't gonna lie, I was watching one of his Mission Impossible movies called Ghost Protocol, and he had like some gloves that sound just like when Iron Man about to use his blasters. I ain't gonna lie, every time when he put those gloves on, try to have some traction against that glass, he would put the gloves on the glass, sound like pew, pew. Sound just like Iron Man blaster. I don't know if they was hidden that it was gonna be Iron Man, and besides, that's like my favorite Mission Impossible movie, honestly. But I ain't gonna lie, that would be pretty cool to see Tom Cruise as superior Iron Man. Like, that would be pretty cool. But man, ain't gonna be Loki with Thor. I love to see Loki and Thor be back together, dude. I just love to see brother on brother again. I would love to see their chemistry once again, dude. Dang, that's gonna be crazy.
think the Infinity Stones don't really work in the TVA. They've established that.
Dang, I wonder how powerful can superior Iron Man get? He feel like he can destroy a whole world with a name with that type of caliber. Superior Iron Man, dude. Dang, that's pretty cool, dude.
Maybe in the void, who knows? It continues. The battle takes place in the void against... Oh, okay, well, there you go. In the void, the Infinity Stones might work. The battle takes place in the void against an army of Doombots and Doctor Doom himself. It's an epic, devastating fight. Doom defeats all the multiversal heroes. Only Thor, Loki, and Captain America, which is Steve Rogers' Captain America, remain standing. Doom himself. It's an epic, devastating... In the void, the Infinity Stones might work. The battle takes place in the void against an army of Doombots and Doctor Doom himself. It's an epic, devastating fight. Doom defeats all the multiversal heroes. Only Thor, Loki, and Captain America, which is Steve Rogers' Captain America, remain standing. The three fight with all their might to protect Loki, but are ultimately defeated by Loki and Captain America, Doom himself. It's an epic, devastating fight. Doom defeats all the multiversal heroes. Only Thor, Loki, and Captain America, which is Steve Rogers' Captain America, remain standing. The three fight with all their might to protect Loki, but are ultimately defeated. Doom manages to seize Loki's powers as well as those of Wanda and the Sentry. Gotta say,
God, that sound like the same thing they try to do with Infinity War, man. And also with Endgame, that I went when they try to get that glove off of Thanos. I think they had like Spider-Man, they had Guardians of the Galaxy, then they had Spider-Man, Iron Man, Doctor Strange try to get it all off, and that didn't work. And Thanos snapped, and half of the population was gone. Then in Endgame, we had the three biggest actors of the MCU. Had RDJ Iron Man, Chris Hemsworth Thor, and Chris Evans Captain America team up against Thanos, and then Iron Man, Thor, they done got wiped out, and then Captain America, he was the only one standing afterwards with Thanos' armor being there. And then, that's the same thing as Endgame. Endgame plot twist, huh? Wow, that's gonna be crazy. And then I know afterwards when Captain America got that call, Sam Wilson is it, and everybody showed up and then won against all Thanos' armor with Iron Man, RDJ snapping his fingers at the end, and that was it. But that's kind of same thing with Avengers, Infinity War, Endgame, whole plot script.
right here, love this. I love the idea of Thor standing with Loki and Captain America Steve Rogers, because it's basically like Endgame, but instead of having Tony Stark there because he's now dead and kind of also, Doom now, you have Loki take a spot right there.
I ain't gonna lie, I wonder if they gonna recognize RDJ as Dr. Doom. But it's probably not gonna be like their Tony Stark Iron Man. It's just gonna be like a different, like he like an evil twin of himself in an effort, like a reference. Hey, that'd be pretty cool. Just like they try to get Thanos up out. Thanos already knew he didn't defeat the Avengers. Then they just came back again with a like the same Thanos, but he had a whole army with him. And Thanos Infinity War, he really didn't have an army like that. He only had like three. He had like three dudes with him. That was his whole army. Then he had a whole army in Endgame when they showed up. But and this is gonna be crazy. But
next to his brother, which I think is to see Thor and Loki fighting together.
Thor and Loki together, bro. Man, that's probably by far the best chemistry we ever seen between them. Probably Thor and Loki, and Thor, Captain America, and Iron Man. Just see all their chemistry. But honestly, Thor and Loki, I would love to see. That was that chemistry I would love to see. Since they brothers, since they grew up together, man, I would love to see that. I would love to see it. I would love to see Loki just show how he's just powerful with all the time in his hand. That'd be pretty cool. Like, I would love to see Thor say, "Dang, brother, that you actually is on top of everything." All right, that'd be pretty cool. But man, and then Thor trying to get back in shape with all the lightning in his hands, how they tried to deal with his last movie. But that'd be pretty cool to see them come back.
Is just going to be so freaking cool. That's going to happen regardless if this is true or not. But I love how this is sounding. And then on top of that, Doom managing to get Loki's powers, Wanda's powers, and the Sentry's powers. That's how he becomes God Emperor Doom. We have been wondering, well, how is he going to get the powers of the Beyonders if they're not there? How does he get godlike powers? Wanda's powers, Loki's powers, and the Sentry's powers. That's God Emperor Doom right there. I love that. That would make total sense. Now for the ending, part 5. The new god. After absorbing the powers, Dr. Doom sits on a throne. Besides him is Doctor Strange, who has become his right-hand man, or sheriff, much like in the comics. To his left, Sentry. To his right, the Scarlet Witch. The worlds finally collide. The universes are...
God, them is all the powerful ones right there. They just missing Jean Grey, Charles Xavier, Magneto right there. And that's the whole powerful team right there. God, he's sitting. Doctor Doom is sitting with Doctor Strange, Sentry, and Scarlet Witch. Golly. So wow, dang, wow, that's gonna be crazy. Gonna be like a Thanos Infinity War. Besides, it's gonna be a Doctor Doom Doomsday, cause this movie, boy, man, it's gonna be crazy. Can't wait to see how Doctor Doom gets powerful. I ain't gonna lie, I would love to see that. Hopefully they show it. 2015, they almost kind of got away with how powerful Doctor Doom can get, but we really couldn't see his face in the mask. That's the whole downfall. Just me analyzing the 2015 Doctor Doom. We really couldn't see his face, his eyes, mouth move. I didn't like that, but I like the old costume design from the '05 Doctor Doom of how they tried to do with him.
Destroyed, nothing remains, only Doom. But they do list 2 post-credit scenes. First post-credit scene, a new world is shown, set in the year 1600. People and children walk and talk in a peaceful environment. In the background, a green-cloaked figure stands out against the horizon, Doctor Doom. The shot suggests he has recreated a new world, and also featured are Franklin Richards, Sue Storm, and a small blonde girl, which I assume would be Valeria Richards, Sue and Reed's daughter, or if we go by what it's saying here and what happens in Secret Wars in the comics, it's actually Sue and Doom's daughter, which is going to be crazy to see. Now, this actually does come, or doesn't come.
Sue, dang, so Doctor Doom had a child with Sue Storm? Wow. So he really did have that universe that he really wanted. Okay. Wow, okay. Knowing a little bit about Doctor Doom, getting more of a background of that. Because he really always fell in love with Sue Storm, honestly, from the older one. 2015, they show a horrible representation. It's showing how they were, like, all friends. Like, huh? Nah, show us that chemistry that they had. That's from '05 It showed how Reed and Sue was in love with each other, but also showed Doctor Doom was in love with Sue, and he was trying to take over. But Fantastic Four stopped him easily. Like that. I know Doctor Doom is more powerful than that, dude. Just be a one-man army like that, they could really show us that. But 2015, they had some, but not at all for me. But just by his face, just and his mouth, we really couldn't see that. But man, they just eliminated Doctor Doom so easily on 15. Like, man, I could really see that Doctor Doom be more powerful, but they really treated him like a cheap skank he was. Just like all the Doctor Doom. They really didn't show how powerful he was, but hopefully we see all of that. But okay. Pretty cool.
But it follows up with the leaked concept art that we've seen for Avengers Secret Wars or Avengers Doomsday, where Doom is on his throne, Doctor Strange is by his side, and Sue Storm and Franklin are by his side as well. This is where the second post-credit scene comes in, though, talking about other characters. 8 years after the events of Avengers Doomsday, a group of explorers finds the raft lost in the depths of the ocean. It is intact, covered by the passage of time, and its systems slowly begin to reactivate, suggesting that the survivors are still inside. I gotta say, as far as...
Oh, okay. Dang, that's like the same thing they tried to do with Ant-Man's time travel van. Time machine van where they when Ant-Man was gonna come back and Endgame and try to save everybody with his time machine. Okay. Okay, it's got it's like the same thing. Almost. Just with how they have different characters and like different aspects of like scenes from Infinity War Endgame, but kind of got the same thing. Okay.
The story is concerned, I absolutely love this. As far as the post-credit scenes are concerned, I love them both. I think they would just give us just enough information to know what's going on and tease Avengers Secret Wars. I want this to happen. I think this really is the best of what we've heard so far. It does line up with a lot of things that we've heard, and it does make sense, I think, is the biggest thing here. Again, take it with a grain of salt. We don't know if this is accurate or not. It could be posted anonymously from somebody who's been on the set and knows the script. It could be somebody just making some stuff up. But either way, it's really fun to go over these things, and I really want this to happen now. But go ahead, let me know your thoughts about it in the comments down below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe.
Dang, hopefully all this happened. I ain't gonna lie, I'm about to rewatch this video. get the whole plot line. Cause it really sounds like the same thing from Infinity War and Endgame, but with Justin Doctor Doom in charge, and dang, and having Thanos on his side. Cause I don't think I would never see Thanos like on a good side ever. Just don't be on his bad one army man side. Like Thanos was always about himself. He knew what he could do, and he did in Infinity War, but Avengers came back. They had to go in time to stop Thanos once again, and they did it. But hopefully this plays out. Hopefully this is the Avengers Doomsday plot, and we'll see it play out once it comes out. I can't wait for that trailer to come out. But it is what it is, man. Appreciate this video, Cosmic Warner, and I'm out. Peace.